everyone, and greetings from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland. It is time once again for our weekly check into the highlights of new releases headed to an independent record store near you. And again, just the highlights because the list is often too long to really get that deep into. But regardless, here is what we've got to look forward to for release on Friday, January 20th, 2023. On the brand new release front, we've got something from Wilco. This is called Cruel Country. Our description says the dynamic Chicago rock band Wilco returns with its 12th studio album, the first of its kind. Cruel Country is the band's exploration of the genre they've often been defined by, but not until now, never fully embraced. This double album features 21 Jeff Tweedy pen tracks, made almost entirely of live takes, created with all 6 members of the band together in the loft for the first time since 2011. So this is new stuff. Again, Cruel Country by Wilco, being released on black vinyl, listing for about $40. And there is also an indie exclusive red and white colored vinyl version, that one listing for $40 as well. You're not going to find a band more prolific than Guided by Voices, and here is a brand new one from them as well. This is called La La Land, and our description says it doubles down on the intricate proggy pop displayed by their more recent works. Goes on to say that on a hot streak of critical acclaim, Robert Pollard continues expanding his songwriting towards extremes of prettiness, heaviness, and poeticism. I think that's a word. As always, unforgettable hooks are everywhere throughout. But this, and get this, this is the band's 46th album. So that's a lot there. Pollard has been playing to the extremes of his abilities as a songwriter, emboldened by the power of this lineup, which the current incarnation is now in their 14th album together since 2017. So Guided by Voices, La La Land on black vinyl by the looks of this is listing for about $23. And here's an interesting one. Not quite sure how I think about this yet, but it's called Where the Viaduct Looms, and it's by an artist called Nell, along with The Flaming Lips. And our description on this one says, after catching the attention of Flaming Lips singer Wayne Coyne at a Calgary concert with her dazzling parrot costume and passionate singing word for word of a David Bowie song, then 10-year-old Nell Smith struck up an unlikely friendship with the band. After sharing music that she was recording at home, the band were so impressed that they invited the entire Smith family to Oklahoma to record. But due to the COVID-19 stuff, that plan was canceled, and instead, Coyne suggested that she email him some cover songs. He added that Nick Cave's Girl in Amber might be a good fit for her. But even though the young musician, now 13 years old, was not familiar with Nick Cave, her recording inspired the band to record this 9-track Nick Cave cover album called Where the Viaduct Looms. So very interesting, but Nell, along with the Flaming Lips, will list for about $25. On the reissue front for January 20th, we're starting off with the Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right releases, a couple of them this time around. First up is the B-52s and the 40th anniversary of Whammy. Our description does not go into detail as far as the color of the vinyl, but it does say colored vinyl, so we've got that going for us, which is nice. So the 40th anniversary of Whammy by the B-52s listing for about $25. And the only other Start Your Ear Off Right one for this week is Burgers from Hot Tuna. This is a 50th anniversary release, also on colored vinyl and also listing for about $25. Next up is a pair of picture discs from Uriah Heep. We've got a 50th anniversary edition of Sweet Freedom, this one coming in at a list price of $34. And we can also look forward to Return to Fantasy, also on picture disc, this one coming in at a list price of $32. One reissue and one interesting collection from UFO, also on tap. First up is No Heavy Petting. This is a deluxe edition, a 2023 remastered version on clear vinyl from the band. Our description says this is a deluxe version because it's a triple LP, which includes bonus live and some acoustic tracks. Originally released in 1975, No Heavy Petting is UFO's 5th studio album. So the deluxe edition triple LP on clear vinyl, No Heavy Petting from UFO, listing for about $45. And then there's this, it's called the Salentino Cuts on red and yellow splatter vinyl. Our description says that on this limited edition pressing, British rock legends UFO offer up their first ever covers album, paying homage to a dozen of their personal favorites. Includes several unexpected choices such as Mad Season's River of Deceit, Mellencamp's Paper and Fire, and Bill Withers' Ain't No Sunshine, alongside more traditional but nonetheless thrilling versions of things such as the Yardbirds, Heartful of Soul, and even ZZ Top in here as well. So a covers album by UFO called the Salentino Cuts on yellow and red splatter vinyl. This one coming from Cleopatra Records, by the way, listing for $33. Here's a greatest hits compilation from stoner rock group Caius. This one called Muchos Gracias, the best of Caius. Double LP on black vinyl, this one listing for about $40. Here's a couple of new ones in the Blue Note Classic Vinyl series. First up is Green is Beautiful by Grant Green. This being served up on 180-gram heavy-duty vinyl, black vinyl by the way, and this will list for about $28. We also have San Francisco from Bobby Hutcherson. This one also from the Blue Note Classic Vinyl series. Our description says that this one is a musical partnership between vibraphonist Bobby Hutcherson and tenor saxophonist Harold Land. So this reissue of San Francisco from Blue Note coming in at a list price of $28. Not part of the Blue Note series, but still a great jazz album nonetheless. Here is Thelonious Monk at the Village Gate from 1963. Our description says that in this live recording from New York, Monk is at his best form during this Village Gate gig. So Village Gate 1963 from Thelonious Monk, listing for about $29. From jazz to some very obscure psych rock, we have got this one from Farm and the self-titled album Farm. Now this was originally released as a private press in 1971 by the group. And according to this, the Farm is a highly sought after and revered by collectors type of release. Recorded by this Southern Illinois band in 1971, it's chocked full of jammy, bluesy guitar psych with heavy dual guitars, organ, congas, and harp. The description goes on to say that this is recommended if you are a fan of the like of Quicksilver, the Allman Brothers, and Canned Heat, 10 Years After, etc. So a reissue of a very rare psych album by Farm, this one listing for about $33. And speaking of psych, here is a couple from the 13th Floor Elevators, but I am scratching my head a little bit on these. Both Easter Everywhere and the Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators have been reissued before and have been reissued as double LPs, with one LP being the stereo version, the other being mono. And that's what we're getting here from these new reissues. So Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators, double LP, limited edition on colored vinyl, although it doesn't say what color that vinyl is. But again, keeping in mind, one of the records is a newly remastered mono mix, and the other is the original stereo mix, as the band's intended in that running order. So, okay, maybe that justifies putting the two of them together, two different visions from Erickson at the time. But here's the caveat on this. This thing lists very, very heavy, coming in at a suggested list price of $100. The same for Easter Everywhere, except this one, according to our description, is just a single LP, but this is also listing at $100. So a pair of rare psych rock ones. The price is way up there for some reason, but if you get them, you're going to enjoy them. And finally, on the reissue front, we have got a big one from the Rolling Stones. This is a limited edition box set on colored vinyl called the Rolling Stones in Mono. Our description says that the Rolling Stones in Mono features the entirety of the band's 1960s studio output, each of them pressed on a different color. So 14 original mono albums are included in this set, including the UK and US versions of Out of Our Heads and Aftermath. Also included is the special collection called Stray Cats, a 2 LP set incorporating every 1960s Rolling Stones track that isn't on the other 14 albums. This is a limited edition numbered box set, which includes a 48-page booklet and an essay by David Frick. Coming in very heavy. Again, 16 pieces of colored vinyl, a book, box set listing for $450. So that one you might want to make sure you put in as a pre-order if you want it. And wrapping things up, we've got some compilations live and soundtracks, starting off with David Byrne, live from Austin, Texas. This is being reissued on red vinyl double LP coming from New West Records, listing for about $29. And the Stranger Things Season 4 is getting a double release to 2 record sets. The first coming on blue vinyl, and this is a double LP of the score from Stranger Things Season 4. This one, as we mentioned, is a double LP on transparent Max's Blue World vinyl, coming in a gatefold jacket with printed inner sleeves. And again, the blue vinyl version is the score from Stranger Things Season 4. Now, the red vinyl version coming out, this is Volume 2, is all of the music from Season 4 of Stranger Things. This one coming on double LP called Vecna's Red World Vinyl. And this is the one, of course, with all of the 80s supernatural classic hits. So both of these, Stranger Things, Volume 1 and Volume 2, each on their respective color vinyl, listing for $35 each. Here's a reissue of a reissue from Friday Music. This is the Blues Brothers original soundtrack. I'm seeing 2 versions of this in our descriptions. One saying clear blue vinyl, the other saying blue vinyl. But these are fun ones to have. So again, this is the original soundtrack featuring all the great music from the Blues Brothers, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, you name it. All of that cool stuff is on here, but on 2 different color variations from Friday Music, each of them listing for about $37. And finally today, just in time for Groundhog's Day, we're getting the Halloween Ends soundtrack. The original soundtrack, this one coming on orange vinyl. Actually, the description says it's limited pumpkin orange vinyl, again, just in time for February. Coming from Sacred Bones Records, this Halloween Ends original soundtrack, listing for about $26. And that is a quick check of some of the releases headed our way for Friday, January 20th, 2023. If you're local and you'd see something you'd like, please contact us here at the store and we'll get in a pre-order for you. Not local, you're still covered. Just head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com. Look for the new releases and you can place an order there for either pickup in the store or have it shipped to wherever you are. So until next week, thank you very much for joining us and we'll see you next time from Radio Wasteland.